one. Now,
hey everybody, welcome to the EverTrek. Oh, sorry. I'm just too excited for today, and I'm too excited, mate. I just.
All right. Well, let's check if we're live, guys. Yeah, are we live? Are we live? Let's just get some confirmation. Yeah, if you just joined us, welcome to a Tuesday Tune-In Q&A. Yeah, if you have joined us, just drop us, say a little hello. Just comment with your name while you're on here. And yeah, we'll definitely say hello. Hey B, how you doing? I can see loads of people are joining the live now. Hey Amanda, Lyndon, Mark, James, a couple of our regulars. Dave, I can't believe it's almost a year since we started doing these wonderful.
Well, yeah, it's Lockversary today, isn't it? So it's the lockdown anniversary of when it all first happened, and shortly after that is we started the live. So yeah, nearly 12 months of Tuesday tune-ins, and wow, numbers, they're flying in.
They're flying in. Yeah, we'll wait a bit of 30 seconds, Dave, before we crack on into it. But yeah, like I said, if you have joined us, do say hello. It's always great to see who's on. Wow, yeah, some big numbers. Dewi, always good to see Dewi on. Simon, Scott, Shona, Paul, Suzette, Kirsty. Here we go. Wow, they're really racking up the numbers now. Tom, A, Dav. Great to see some new people on here as well. Yeah, if it's your first Tuesday tune-in, so yeah, as Dave mentioned, we've been doing these over the last sort of 12 months or so since today. And yeah, it's kind of weird, Dave. I'm looking over there because Dave's in the other room.
Don't spoil the mystique, man. We don't know where we are, but
yeah. So a year ago, obviously, in the UK, lockdown came in, and which is actually a bit of an anniversary for another reason, which is a good reason as well, which was that was actually the last Everest base camp trip that we did, with the guys actually reaching base camp today, and we managed to get that trip out before lockdown. It came in. Getting back was a little bit more challenging, with all the things that happened, but we got the guys back, and a couple of them on the live already, so which is always great to see. Bri, always great to see you on. But right, Dave, it's a big live today, so I know we've got a lot to cover, but we'll sort of go into the general crux of it. What we'll do is we'll talk a little bit about the Kilimanjaro, because it's been a wonderful competition over the last couple of weeks. We've had a lot of entries. I think it's over 9,500 people actually entered. So if you've entered, thanks for obviously being a part of the competition. It's great to see all the positive energy out there around the trips, and I know, I know we can't travel at the moment, but as we always say, let's plan for when we can, and make the most of it when we are allowed out again.
Yeah,
and we are allowed to travel. Which is, we thought, right, okay, we want to run another one of our competitions, which we've done once or twice over the last few years. If you're kind of new to the EverTrek community, we are the UK's #1 high altitude Everest specialist. But
we are EverTrek specialists as well. Yeah. No one knows more about EverTrek than us, and no one knows more about EverTrek than us.
I'll get my names out in a minute. Everest base camp specialist. But over a year ago, we started to do trips to Kilimanjaro. And myself and Dave were on the very first trip to Kilimanjaro, and it was an absolutely fantastic trip. Yeah. And we had the pleasure of having some great people on that trip as well. And unfortunately, because that was back in March last year, something happened, and we kind of moved on, and now we haven't been able to run trips since. But going forward, we're very excited. We've got a lot of trips over the next couple of years, and Kilimanjaro is a great trip, Dave, isn't it? It's got something
to be honest, it was weird. It was the last normal thing I did before sort of COVID. We left in sort of February when COVID was in the news, but it wasn't the thing that it became, and I didn't realize that when I was over there. I was handing out hand sanitizer and toilet roll like it grew on trees. I didn't realize that I gave away probably about 200 quid's worth, just around the table at lunch. But honestly, it is amazing. Like, competition time is my favorite time of the year because, we've done it a few times. I've been lucky enough to go to Everest Base Camp with a couple of the competition winners as well, and spend some time to get to know these people. These lives are great because I feel like I get to know everyone anyway before the trip. And the anticipation that I know someone out there now is going to be getting the opportunity for them and a friend to go to Kilimanjaro. It'll be life-changing, honestly, because it was life-changing for me. I mean, I say every trip's life-changing, but it's true. I always come back like slightly happier and feel like I've achieved something. And going forward, I think lockdown was so much easier having done Kilimanjaro, not only because I had done something, but also because it kind of gives you that strength of will, that strength of character from having to get to the summit. Absolutely amazing trip. Absolutely amazing trip.
No, it is. I certainly think, having been to high altitude, many times, the summit night in Kilimanjaro was a, completely different ball game. It was tough. It was challenging, and it's not for everyone. We're always talking about this. If you've ever been on any of our lives, we always talk that hiking, adventure travel, going to altitude is not for everyone. But if it is, and it's right up your street, and you like the challenge, you like getting up, putting the head torch on, and hiking through the dark, seeing that sunrise over Kilimanjaro, it's worth every single step.
Yeah,
It's worth the pain as well.
Yeah.
But I think one of our EverTrekkers said, was it, one day of hell is not bad for all the things that you see on the trip, and I have to agree with that 100%.
Yeah, to be honest, like Summit Day, there's no getting around it. I'm not going to drop too many spoilers about it, but it's certainly not a walk in the park. But to be honest, like there's a reason you're putting in that effort. There's a reason that sometimes it's really difficult and you're tired and your legs hurt and it's hard to breathe because of the altitude. There's a reason for it. You just got to keep the faith, because as soon as you get to the top, you see the sunrise on the summit and you realize, wow, you just completely feel re-energized by it. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. I can see a bunch more people are joining us, which is great. And just to mention as well, we're just going to do some Q&A around Kilimanjaro, and then we'll announce the winner after that. There's plenty going on in this live, so we'll try and get it through it as much as we can, guys. But right, Dave, we've had heaps of questions come in around Kilimanjaro, so we'll tackle those. If you are on the live as well, do drop in the questions on the comments. A wonderful Lauren, our social yeti, will be gathering the comments and filtering them through to us. So do get your questions in, guys, if you've got them around that, and then we'll be announcing the winner very, very shortly. But right, Dave, let's go deep into it, mate.
Yeah, nice. I mean, I'm just looking here. I just saw Mark EV. How's it going, Mark? I haven't given you a call out yet, but Mark EV is a regular. When he's keeping track of the amount of people on there, don't do it, Mark. I don't like to know. I like to think it's just me talking to Andy. No, awesome. Yeah, it's great to see so many EverTrekkers on here. It's awesome.
Yeah, big family now.
So, right. So some people have messaged in some questions beforehand if they're not able to get on the live, so we'll crack through. For those, I suppose we should say, for those new to the lives, hopefully we're going to see you week on week now. But normally we, you can submit questions, just put them in the comments. They get fed to us, but some people email them to us. So we'll answer some of those for those guys as well. The first one I've got here is from someone called Jane. She's new to all this climbing malarkey, but it's on her and her twins' bucket list, along with other places such as Everest Base Camp. Nice. She's heard different things about the climb, and a lot of people have said one of the biggest struggles is the acclimatization. Silly question, but is there any way you can sort of prepare for this before you go, or make it slightly easier on the body? Going on long walks helps your body, etc. But how do you prepare for other challenges? Sorry if it's a silly question. It's not a silly question. That old cliche, there are no silly questions. The only silly question is the one you keep to yourself. But yeah, going forward. So to be honest, all of our trips are designed so you can technically arrive from sea level, acclimatize on the trip, and get to the summit safely. That's the way they're designed. That's why our trip is called Kilimanjaro the Long Way, because we take 8 days to get to the summit. It's possible to do it in 5. I've heard even 4 days, which is insane. That's basically no acclimatization. We have very experienced guides. Our itineraries are designed to keep you healthy and acclimatize you. So along with taking each day slowly, the whole trip is designed slowly, so your body will gradually acclimatize. You drink plenty of water, you walk slowly, you listen to the guides. There are other things you can do, such as Diamox, which we need to do a whole new live about medications and things, I think. But with regards to preparing before you go, the best thing that you can do is just physically prepare yourself for the trip. So do as much training as you can. The stronger and the more endurance you have in your body, particularly your legs, your lower back, for hiking, the better you'll perform on the mountain. And then also, we always say the muscle between your ears needs working as well. So, don't overthink anything. Fully prepare yourself, educate yourself, and go there with a sense of adventure and a sense of fun. And you've pretty much got all the ingredients. One thing we always say is that, my mind will often give up before my legs. So by keeping that strong and keeping myself happy, you'll be able to push on and achieve amazing things. So there's loads more I can talk to you. So if you want more specific information about training plans and stuff like that, drop us an email at Jane and we'll sort you out. Yeah,
nice, Jane. A lot of really good question there. And, there is a lot to cover. Do check some of the other lives as well, because we have covered things like medication, in terms of managing your body at high altitude, which is really important. The tried and tested, over the years we've been running and taking people to high altitude. The slow acclimatization process, looking after your body, keeping positive, drinking loads of water, listening to your guide, having an awesome time. You won't go far wrong. So you go on these trips to have a good time, right? So don't rush it. Why rush? Why rush up there? That's why we go the long way, and we do that on all of our trips. So great question. All right, Andrew Davis, let's have a look, talking about travel bans. Will this affect future planes around the world? Yeah, Andrew, good question, mate. I know we've covered it a lot over the last few weeks, and though we don't have a crystal ball, we, like you, we see the announcements come in, and unfortunately, it is a bit challenging at the moment. That's why we're kind of looking to plan while we can, because if we can plan and get things in the diary, work towards that, okay, we might have to move them a little bit, which we've obviously all had to do over the last 12 months. But having those things in the diary does certainly help the muscle between the ears. That's right. Andrew, like you, I think it's going to be challenging. I think there was some press over the last couple of days around maybe extension of that travel ban. There's no official word on that yet, but as soon as we know, we'll obviously let you guys know. We're always about transparency and let you guys know if there's anything that would stop you from going. And it's a challenging time right now, but that's why we're doing these things, to keep the positive energy going. Travel will come back. It's just a matter of time. So just have a little bit of patience, and then we'll get back to the mountains as soon as we can. But the mountains aren't going anywhere, mate. So when we can go, we'll go there for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Simon said, I'm going quite quickly today because I'm conscious of the amount of people that we've asked you questions, but and then I just undermined it with this whole spiel. But Simon, do you recommend hiking boots or are hiking shoes good enough for Kili? Yeah. Hiking boots 100%. Some people in the lower altitudes, particularly in the first couple of days, you might see wearing those sort of Salomon hiking shoes and trail shoes and approach shoes and things like that. To be honest, I wore boots from the moment I got out the car at the Lemosho gate to the moment I got back to the Lemosho gate. It is tricky. The terrain can be slippery at the beginning. It's rooty and rocky. High up, it's glaciated. The Barranco wall, you're on very narrow ledges. So having that boots with the extra ankle support is definitely needed, particularly on summit day. You'll really need boots because you are walking on the glacier on the summit. Secondly, it is really cold. So having those boots does to give you that bit of extra insulation and stuff like that. So boots all the way. If you are going to take some shoes, that's fine. But there will be some days where they won't be suitable, just so you know.
Yeah, nice, Dave. I don't want to go into too much, but you do get people who wear trail shoes and you're fine. I just think I've also seen people who have rolled an ankle and it's game over. Whereas I do like to have a bit more ankle support, but it is a personal preference, guys. And we all say what you're used to using when you're hiking regularly. You can get away with using that, on Kili, or any high altitude trip. Essentially, okay, if you're going on glaciers or snow or scrambling terrain might be different, but essentially, I do always like to have that extra peace of mind of some ankle protection. But I know it's not for everyone. You like a bit more freedom, especially if you used to do any trail running and things. You'd like to have a bit more sort of freedom in around the ankles there. So it is a personal preference, but I go with a hiking boot just to be sure. But good question, right? David, I think is our similar question around COVID. Will it impact the amount of people to join the trek this year? And let's talk about fitness as well. You've lost a lot of fitness this lockdown. You're not the only one, mate. I think we're all working from home. We're trying to do our best, but I'd be the first one to say a bit of lockdown timber is stuck. But it's all part of the journey, isn't it? And you can get out there, get walking, do what you can. In terms of fitness plans, Lauren, who's on the comments, we do have some sort of training plans available if you want to get any from us. I think David doesn't say whose surname on here, but if you do want one of those, I'll get Lauren to put the link in the comments. Or if you just go onto our knowledge center on the website, so you're evertrek.co.uk/knowledge center. If you give a little search in there, you'll be able to find all the articles that we've written, some of the videos and some of our training plans for fitness. Just have a bit more information on there. But nice, Dave. Next question.
Awesome. So Kevin McGraw, he's asked a common question actually, which I think I answer pretty much every live, but it's a really popular one. I need to write an article about it. What's more of a challenge, Kili or EBC?
Good question.
And it is one of those tricky ones. It's a little bit like, apples and oranges. Comparing the two is not easy because they are completely different types of trips. So Kilimanjaro is 8 days of hiking. EBC is 11 days of hiking. So technically, Everest Base Camp is longer. However, I would say 2 out of the 8 days on Kilimanjaro are really quite tough. One of them, when you go up to Lava Tower and down to Barranco Camp, you gain quite a lot of altitude in one day. You do sleep low, so it's all part of the acclimatizing process, but you might feel like you're struggling a little bit. And Summit Day, obviously, is something else. Those 2 days are pretty tough and probably as hard or harder than any day on EBC. But then EBC is slightly longer. Kili, you have a sense that you are starting at the bottom of a mountain and you're making your way to the summit. EBC is more trekking through Nepal. It's a sense of that. You're not technically going just up and down one hill. Personally, I would think, rather than thinking about which one is more difficult, I would look at the various information we have out there and figure out what trip is actually sort of, pulls on the heartstrings and gets you more interested. Do you want to climb a mountain? Do you want to bag that summit and get a summit certificate? Or do you want to travel to Everest and see the Himalayas and see the biggest mountains in the world? That's the type of thing that would draw you to one or the other, rather than sort of what's more difficult or what's easier.
Yeah, so, nice, Dave. Nice. Good. Yeah, great, mate. Sarah has asked, how do you go about planning your trip to Kili? Mostly important reaching the top. Well, Sarah, comes the right place. If you want to go on a trip to Kilimanjaro, I don't know if you were at the beginning of the live, where Dave sort of went into why we, Kilimanjaro the long way is because we do like to take our time. So if you are keen to come with us to Kili, obviously, if you're the winner, great. If not, that's what we do. We trek and climb a high altitude. So definitely download the guide. Lauren, if you're on the live comments as well, just put a link to the Kilimanjaro guide. Have a little look at all the information on there. It's got all the details in terms of the specifics of the trip, the day-by-day itinerary. And also as well, you get some follow-up emails with sort of the day-by-day videos that we've recorded, just so you know a little bit about what you're getting yourself into. But a big thing when we first looked at Kili is because a big thing on all of our trips is that we've seen is a lot of different routes. We do the Lemosha route, that's the highest success rate on the mountain. There's other routes, but again, the success rate comes down because of the speed and difficulty level. Lemosha is the most beautiful way up, personal opinion. It's absolutely beautiful way to go. And, we've done this when we're talking about high altitude in anywhere in the world, Himalayas especially, you just got to take your time. There's no rush. And if you do, you're asking the question then, in terms of, will you get altitude sickness? Will you get any altitude issues? And we want to limit that. We've always worked on that since the beginning, which is why we've had such a high success rate. I mean, on all of our trips, we have over 95% success rate in terms of getting to where we want to go. Things happen. People get ill, bad weather. You can just be unlucky, have a dodgy belly. You can have altitude sickness. Things happen. Homesickness we've had. I mean, this is life, isn't it? And with that in mind, just be prepared for that. But also that if you're on a trip with us, very high success in terms of getting to where you want to get to. Part of that is what, you joined the right place today, which is we hope that some, answer some of your questions. It can try and help you then prepare for the trip. So I hope that sort of answers your question.
Exactly. It kind of leads me on nicely to Tanya. I'm going to butcher this, so I'm going to owe you a pint, Tanya. If you're new to the lives, if I get someone's names wrong, they can call on me for a pint whenever they see me. But Tanya Oosthuizen.
Very well done, Dave.
I'm assuming she's from the Netherlands. Oh, I think she's from the Netherlands. She'll probably be joining from Holland. There you are. Sea level area. How big of a problem is this? Would it be better to go via Johannesburg and get some acclimatization? To be honest, it probably would have a limiting effect. Spending short periods of time in your transfer to Kilimanjaro. And like I said, we do aim to acclimatize people on the trip. It's designed so our itinerary, we climb high, we sleep low, we gain our altitude gradually, all the stuff we've already said. I will say that we had one, Natasha Vandervold, who went to EBC with us in April 2019. And she was obviously from the Netherlands, and she was one of the strongest on the whole trip. So it's about sort of your fitness level, having the right mindset and stuff like that. Close enough, Tanya. So, okay, so that's half a pint I owe you. Food-wise, non-soy, gluten-free, vegan with mushroom allergies. We can accommodate all sorts of things like that. So if you're vegan, we've had gluten intolerances. We can provide a diet that will suit you for the whole trip. What I would say is, if there's anything particularly that you want to bring with you, then do so, because there might be things like little snacks, sweets, and little pick-me-ups that the guides won't have. So bring that stuff with you, because it'll make a difference. And would you say you have to join an existing group to try really hard to create your own group, and what is the number required? More than happy to have you on one of our existing groups. If you want to bring some people with you, we're not going to say no. But all the groups, all these friendly EverTrekkers that you see, these are all the exact same types of people that are on the trip. They're varied in manner and fitness and everything like that, but they're all lovely. So yeah, you would have an amazing time. And do our fees include the porters' fees and tips? No. So we recommend about $250 US dollars tips at the end of the trip for the porters and for the guides. It takes a large team to get people up to Kilimanjaro. We had a team of about 30 to get us to the summit when there was about 7 trekkers, because we provide you with toilets, toilet tents, kitchen tents, mess tents, sleeping tents, all the chairs, tables, foods, boilers, cooking gas, all of that sort of stuff. So they do an amazing job. So we recommend 250. I always say that's a minimum. If you want to be incredibly generous and donate certain trekking clothing or give more, then please do. Hopefully that's good.
Yeah, nice, Dave. Next one here, got Becky Hawes. She wants to have a little shout out to her boyfriend, Rafe Keynes. Okay, yeah, Rafe, if you're on the live, mate, she wants to say hello. Said you're listening today. Your question: what's been your biggest hurdle on any of your treks, and how did you overcome it? Yeah, really good question. There's lots of different, I'd say, fears, questions that crop up. Biggest one seems to come with fitness. But I think if there's one thing I've seen the difference between people who get to where they want to get to, whether that's Everest Base Camp, Kili, it's this thing up here. It is. I think all the lessons we've learned is, okay, you don't have to be the fittest person in the world. It helps, and you'll have a better time. But having that resilience to crack on when it gets difficult, to dig in, that little bit of positivity, maybe ask yourself why you're there, why you did it. Maybe you're doing it for a reason. You're raising money for charity. You're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for your family. Go to the deep stuff, because, if there becomes that time when it gets hard, and it will, that's why we're doing it. It's difficult. If it was easy, we'd all go to Disneyland, which is good, by the way, in another area.
One of the best holidays I've ever had, mate.
But the point is, you're going out of your comfort zone and go into these challenges to challenge yourself. And I think anything that we've had, the biggest hurdle sometimes has been the mind. People can get sucked into feeling negative when they're not well, when they suffer with altitude issues, you've got a headache, you're tired, you can get those things that crop in. So yeah, I'd say in terms of, if you went out there on any of these trips, including Kili, and you've got that positive mindset that you're going to just crack on and you're going to do it. Okay, like I said earlier, things can happen, you get unlucky, but 99 times out of 100, that will put you in good stead and it will work. So I hope I've done that justice there, Becky. But and Rafe, welcome to the live, mate.
Awesome. I second everything Andy just said there as well. I think sometimes if you've been for a run and you're staring at your trainers and trying to convince yourself that it's a good idea, that's the hardest part of the run, right? Once you're out there and you're doing it and then you come back, you feel great. That's like a little snippet of what it's like on Kilimanjaro or Everest Base Camp, and keeping your eye on the prize and the reason why you do it. Was it one of my favorite quotes was, sometimes when I'm lost, I go back to the beginning and remember why I started. And I do keep that why in my brain sometimes, if that's not too grandiose.
Nice.
So let's have a look. So George Steedman, how's it going, George? Looking forward to doing Kili in 2023. We're looking forward to taking you, mate. Any further thoughts on other African peaks, such as Mount Kenya, Mount Cameroon, similar to Tukbal, can be done in a long weekend? Yes, definitely. So we are looking. We always come to this. So we're constantly looking to expand our repertoire of peaks and stuff like that. It takes us perhaps a little bit longer than perhaps it potentially could have, but that's because we have an EverTrek standard that we like to set. And we mentioned earlier that 95% success rate pretty much across the board on all of our trips. Well, it takes a lot of work to ensure that the factors that go into that success rate duplicated on every trip. Every trip's a little bit different, so we have to find new ways of doing things to make sure that you guys get the best trip. And but certainly we are. All of the peaks that you've mentioned, I think, are amazing. I personally want to travel more around Africa. I've been only to Tanzania, and to travel around all those other countries would be astounding. It's one of the they always say that cliche. Everyone says when you go to Africa, it kind of gets under your skin, and then you just want to live there. And I'll be honest, I never really felt that before until I went to Africa, and it was one of those places that I was like, you know what, it's so vibrant, so it's like intense and relaxing at the same time. It's amazing. It offers everything.
Nice, Dave. No, it is fantastic place, and Dave said we've got a lot of plans afoot. COVID has certainly put back some of them, but we're trying to crack on. We've after we do a few more questions, we have got one new trip which actually is live on the website today. Don't know if you saw a little sneaky little Easter egg in the email, but I did put a link on it to that, and we've had a few people who are interested, which is great. It's something we talked about a few weeks ago, but we'll come back to that in about 10 minutes. We're going to smash through these questions because I can see that there's a lot of people on the live, and obviously great that you're with us, guys, and do hold on. We're not far away from announcing the winner of the Kilimanjaro, the long way competition. But I want to get these questions answered for you guys because, obviously if you don't win, love to have you with us. That's what we do. That's what we specialize in. And, do check your emails afterwards because, we always have sort of things like runner-up prizes and other things as well. So, definitely keep your eye on your emails. But right, Dave, let's do a quick fire 10, shall we?
Awesome. So I got one here from Michael Cooper. He says, are you going to blast 10 at me and I blast 10 at you? Is that what we're going to do?
We can go both ways. That's fine.
All right, okay. So only because I wanted to answer one from Michael Cooper who said, why do we give a free place away? It's a good question. Not complaining. He's just curious. Well, to be honest, part of what makes EverTrek such a successful endeavor is you guys. What's happening right now. This community of people, the support we get, it goes both ways. EverTrek and the EverTrekkers and the trips we go on are a circle, that one supports the other and we're all connected. And honest to God, we just wanted, the idea was thought when we thought, you know what, it would be a great thing to do for people. Yeah. Because not everyone that follows us is actually able to go on these trips. We heard a lot of stuff. We get a lot of emails every week saying, I'd love to do this, but I can't because of X. I'd love to do this, but I can't because of Y. And we thought to ourselves, well, if we did some sort of competition, it's going to be good because people are going to know EverTrek as a result, but also a lucky two people are going to be able to remove all of those X's and Y's and just concentrate on going on the trip. Yeah. And that's why we do it. We do it to kind of, it's part of that circle. It helps us, it helps you. It's an amazing thing to do. It's my favorite time of the year.
It is. No, it's spreading a bit of positivity in the world, mate. We're lucky to be in a situation where we can do, and we've some of the previous winners, which I'd love, we always like to do a little competition. Obviously, this one's really special, but we got previous winners who I'd love to get to chat about their experience. And I think I'll try and reach out to them because I'd like to see that little bit of positivity that, could have potentially changed their life. And if we can do that, then happy days, But right, okay, quick one. Brilliant. I love Brian's comments. Are we going to announce the winner today? Yes, Brian, we will. Won't be long. Right, Dave, I'm going to fire some at you, mate, if that's all right.
All right, okay. I'm not going to read them. I'm just going to answer. Okay, go.
Best footwear for Kilimanjaro. I know there's one in particular that you love.
Maindel Bhutan boots.
Nice, very good. I totally agree.
With a Trailblazer, a Superfeet Trailblazer insole.
Nice. Which jacket or waterproof is best?
I use a Rab Firewall waterproof jacket. And the other, what was the other question?
No, it was waterproof jacket they were asking.
Okay, waterproof jacket. Yeah, I like the Rab one because it's still waterproof today. I've reproofed it 3 or 4 times, but it's got the zips that go from the elbow to the armpit, so you can stay nice and cool. So yeah, Rab Firewall for me.
Darren's asked, what's the biggest mistake people make when climbing at Kili? I know that's the hard one.
Going too fast.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, going too fast would be the biggest one. Yep.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Contact lens. Do contact lenses freeze at altitude, Dave?
We had this question before, and I don't believe they do.
Good, nice. That was Stuart Taylor. Sorry, Stuart. We'll obviously more in depth, mate. Do drop us an email, any sort of tech stuff. Obviously, trying to get through as many questions as we can. How many months training would you recommend before going to Kili, Dave?
Well, as many as you got. You know, as many to be honest, I wouldn't want to book it too far. Like I wouldn't be training. Yeah. I'd probably, if you book it a year in advance, I would start gently working up to it. The last 6 months leading up to it, I'd probably increase it, and I'd taper off probably 2 weeks before and just gradually just keep myself going. So when you arrive at Kili, there's no aches, no pains or anything like that. You're just ready to go. Nice. You don't want to overtrain for it. I wouldn't be training for like over a year in advance hardcore, because the chances of you picking up an injury then. So nice. I would say book it a year in advance. First 6 months, think about it. Last 6 months, get going.
Nice. The tents we camp on in Kili have mozzie nets.
Not the tents, because you don't need them particularly on Kilimanjaro, because the amount of mosquitoes at high altitude are low. In fact, when you get to high altitude, there aren't any. But in the hotels and everything like that down in Moshi, where there's loads of mosquitoes, all the rooms have mosquito nets.
Yeah, cool. We're going to be doing a video on Mount Kilimanjaro. I think Jack asked. I may as well answer. Yes, we are. When we're allowed to go there, we're going to be filming some wonderful Kilimanjaro stuff. We went just before we went to Kili before lockdown. So yeah, certainly, mate. As soon as we can, Jack, we will be getting some good footage from Morocco, and it's a beautiful place, easy to do. Just going through. Shona has asked. Let's see the haircut, Dave.
Didn't get it done. It was double booked. So yeah, left. Finished Tuesday. Went to Cardiff to get it done, and it was.
That's grown a lot in a week, Dave.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I was double booked, so I didn't get it in. But so next week, Shona, and then I will do the grand unveiling.
Great stuff. I think just saw one on here. I think it was Carl Blasberg. Do you need malaria tablets?
Yes, you do. So depending on which ones you take, you're going to be ended up taking them maybe a week, maybe 3 days before you go. You take them for the entire trip, even when you're on the mountain. And if anyone tells you not to or you don't have to, don't listen to them. You do. And then you take them for about a week after you get back. Personally, I recommend Malaria, because it's like going to the cinema every night because you have weird dreams.
It is very, very interesting.
How many is that now? Is that what, 8?
8, yeah, a couple more. Is Everest Base Camp near enough same height as Kili Base Camp?
Kili's higher. Kili's 5895. Everest Base Camp is 5364. That sort of 500 meters or so makes a big difference. Yeah. So Kili's altitude is quite a lot higher. It's also completely different. Like Base Camp is like you just got, you're in a mountain range, but you're not on a summit. Kilimanjaro, you do have a sense that you are stood on the top of something. So nice. Yeah, completely different, but that 500 meters does make a difference.
Wicked. Apparently, we got lots of people sending us stars. Something that Facebook do now. If you have, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Love a star.
Yeah, don't know what it means, but thank you very much for sending us some stars. Dave, really good one from Simon Morgan. Am I allowed to play Toto Africa at the top?
What did you say? Play it at the top?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, mate. You got there. You earned the right. To be honest, over in Africa, they love music, they love dance. So it's totally different from EBC in that way. That although you hear people playing music on EBC, in Tanzania they love it. So we got to the top of Barranco Wall, and we were listening to Little Richard. Lucille, I think, was blasted out. It was like an awesome party atmosphere.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really good. Okay, right, and I'm going to fire some at you now. But if you want to answer one in the meantime, so I can kind of find one. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Claire Holden, any tips and advice for a solo female wanting to do a trek?
Yeah, I think Lauren's posted a little link about solo trekking, and just let you know, on all of our trips, we usually get I'd say about half of everyone that comes on a trip is a solo traveler. We actually did a live probably about 7 or 8 weeks ago on a Tuesday like this, which was all about solo trekking. So I highly recommend you listen to that one. But look, if you want to come, you're on your own. You're never on your own. You're part of a bigger family. You'll be well looked after, and you'll have an amazing time.
Yeah, awesome. Another question. So Gareth Marden, having a pre-existing medical condition that has been controlled for a few years, do we work with any travel insurers that cater for higher risk individuals who want to do one of your trips, including Kilimanjaro?
Yeah, you're not the only one. Sorry, what was their name, Dave?
Gareth Marden.
Gareth. Yeah, Gareth. Certainly, we get a lot of people who come with us to high altitude with pre-existing conditions. What we always do say, and I think there's a couple of people. Ramona is one. Definitely. Sort of again, if you any specifics, what I do is go over to the Facebook group, High Altitude EverTrekkers. Drop it in there. You'll get a lot of people who say, "Yeah, I've had similar, maybe a similar thing." But yeah, definitely speak to your GP. Always good to get a bit of peace of mind. A travel doctor. In terms of going to high altitude, there's some pre-existing conditions that might affect you. I know that some people we've had who've had asthma, which is fine if you've got it managed. I've got asthma myself. I manage it, and people have climbed Everest with asthma. So obviously there's varying levels, aren't there, of pre-existing conditions. With the insurance part of it, Campbell Irvine are usually really good when it comes to providing cover for anyone pre-existing illnesses. I know you know what travel insurance companies like, they always add a premium onto it, but generally Campbell Irvine are usually pretty good. Also depends on age, but again, I'd pop it in the group because other people who've been at high altitude in their 60s and 70s and have got cover as well. Okay.
Yeah, awesome.
Nice.
Jock McKay, does the winner go for free?
Yes, they do. That's the point of being a winner.
Awesome.
And they get to choose a friend as well.
Jane Adele Moody, what about snakes and spiders? Likely?
No, not on the mountain. You're in Africa, and it is wild. There's lots of national parks. There's spiders. There are snakes. We didn't really see anyone on Kili. Really, I mean, I've been out on safari in the Serengeti and around there, and in the rest of Tanzania. There are some snakes out there and some spiders, but you rarely see them. I'd say the only probably you might see some sort of big ants out there, and especially in the first camp you stay in, which is called Big Tree Camp. So there's a lot of bugs, a lot of it is what it is. You're in part of the jungle, but then after that, then you're out onto the sort of plains and then the side of Mount Kilimanjaro.
Awesome. I've got to try one thing quick, and just quick. Someone has asked me to try their name to see if I owe them a pint. Dino Da Vinci Jordan Niled Sidal. Gonna go with that. Let me know how close I got.
Wow,
Leslie Leslie Parrott has asked. She was actually speaking to Fee the Bimblin Yeti. Very glad to hear we don't go back down the Barranco wall, and we go down the Mweki route. What's the route down like?
Yes, it's all the way down. So even though we've taken 8 days to get to the top, it's literally one all the way back down. So it is a mother of a descent. So prepare the legs. It's part of the challenge. After getting to the top is only halfway, but it's a quick way down, quick way to the bar. Plenty of beers down there. So we want to get there as soon as we can. It's good route.
Awesome. Hazel Wilson. We kind of answered this one. I've never done any kind of altitude before. Would it be silly to be considered doing Kili before anything else?
No, we've had first timers do Kili. It depends on you. I think the biggest thing we've had before is that you think you've got to be kind of an altitude junkie or a triathlete or superhuman to do these things. Last March we had a good friend James now who was on that trip, and he did 3 weeks in Las Vegas before he went to Kili, and he would say himself, he would do more training. He probably, I think the longest hike he had done before that was 3 hours. I think, in terms of experience, he didn't really have any, but it was, he was a friend of mine. I asked him along. He's a very good photographer, so it was great to have some pictures of Kili. But you know what? He battled on. He made it. He struggled, but he did it. And again, I go back to what I said beginning of the live, having that the strong resilience there to battle on when it gets tough is huge. Yeah, is huge. So in terms of that, you've experienced. But again, if you want to sort of have a chat, drop us a message, info@evertrek.co.uk. We can have sort of a conversation about it, and we can talk about maybe your experience and first time. I mean, if you want to test out altitude, Tukal, because a little bit lower, 4,100 meters. First time I went to altitude was Everest Base Camp, which is 5,364 meters. So you can do it if you want to do it. It's up to you.
Awesome. Okay, I think I can bash out 3 more questions for you. When you say boots, just high boots or more like B1 or B2?
Yeah, so when it comes to boots, I might have been previous question is that there's some hiking boots or trekking boots. There's lots of different ways of saying it that have sort of ankle support. Now, when you're talking about B1, B2, that's if it's how rigid it is. If you want to have a crampon on your on the bottom of your boot. So, if you get in a specific trekking boot, they're not really, most of the time, they're more flexible. They're too flexible to have a crampon on there, so they won't even be a B1.
Yeah.
But when I was talking about the sort of ankle support, you've got ones that literally come up over your ankles, and it's not for everyone, because you want a bit of air, you don't want to get too much sweat. But Dave mentioned the Mainel Boutons. They have great ankle support. I've done Kili and Basecamp with those boots. Highly recommend them.
Yeah, awesome. And Bri McAlpine says, are Speedos acceptable?
Not for Brian, although he has done it once on the training weekend, which was very scary. But luckily, the camera wasn't a million miles away. No, yeah, you can bring what you want. Normally, I used to years and years ago. I used to be a diving instructor, scuba diving instructor, and Speedos weren't allowed. But I'm not a no person. I'm a yes person, and if you want to wear them, it's up to you. But it's bloody cold, so be prepared.
Yeah, just let me know, Brian, which trip you're going on, so I can make sure I'm busy that week. So another one, Olivia Ruby Beatrice Fazio. That's an awesome name. What sort of food do you have on the trip? Is it traditional? Is it traditional food from Tanzania?
A bit of both, really. So in the mountains, you kind of need the stuff that gives you the best energy. So you'd be surprised what's on the mountain. You've got chips, you've got pasta. You got pizza, you got rice, you got chicken, you got great breakfast stuff. You got sausages, you got pancakes, you got loads of scrambled eggs. All the stuff you can think of. I'd say if you want sort of traditional Tanzanian food, it's probably down in Moshi. Whilst you're on the mountain, although it is kind of an expedition. You're in camps and going up a mountain. It's not a place where you kind of have the good cuisine. But that being said, the food is awesome. On the trips, and you'd be surprised on the level of food you're out there. But it's all about fueling the fire.
Yeah, not really a question, Anne, but I just wanted to comment on it because it was weird. I was questioning you yesterday because you're a qualified dive instructor, and I was questioning you about like the difference between using oxygen underwater and would it be the same to use it up top? And I was just educating myself by picking Andy's brain. Mark Beecroft has actually said the exact same thing to Nick White.
Nice.
About so we were having that conversation, the same thing yesterday. Mark, you and Andy should have a separate conversation about that.
Definitely. There's a lot of science behind it, and that we could take a whole live over that. But Mark, drop us a message, mate. I'll have a chat with you.
Andy McNaughton Jones, how's it going, Andy? He's a regular. He's actually came up with a good point actually that I would like to qualify. The bottom part of the descent of the Mweka route down from the Lamosho is muddy and quite slippery in the forest. So if you're not a big trekking pole user, bring them anyway, particularly for bits like that, because he sprained his ankle, and I didn't hurt myself luckily, but I did nearly take out about 5 people in front of me in the most elaborate slide you've ever seen in your life, with poles going everywhere and stuff like that. So I think that's another reason why I like good boots as well, is because if you go over on your ankle or something like that, it's they might not make a difference, but they might. And it's all about marginal gains and stuff like that. Andy, one final one. Banana beer, is it gluten free?
Not that I checked, but it's I drank it with a smile. Internally, I was crying. But it was have it. Why not? While in Rome, try banana beer.
Quite a lot of stuff being talked about here. So in Australia, they call Speedos budgie smugglers.
They do call them budgie smugglers. Yeah, it's not sure why, but apparently lots of budgies around.
Yeah.
Although Lucy Bagley, who was on the live, wow, Lucy, it's first time in ages. Something on the way in the post to you, mate. Summit pants. Why not? Yes, I've seen people with Summit pants before. Colourful Summit pants. Why not, guys? If you made it that far, you can do what you want. Just be prepared. It is cold out there. Right, Dave, we've had loads of questions. Look, it's awesome today. I can see we got, at the moment, I mean, I know it's always different people on the live, but over 400 people on the live. I don't think we're a million miles away from announcing the winner, because, we don't want to get into Wednesday before we do it, The
one thing I would say as well, guys, I really appreciate that a lot of you have tuned in as well to see if you've won the trip. But we do this every Tuesday, like clockwork, 12:30 GMT. So if we have missed a question, you can email them in. You can come back next Tuesday and the Tuesday after that and become a regular. And we will get to the bottom of every question that there ever has been asked. Elliot Woolley has asked, do we need to learn a victory dance for the top to celebrate? And I say it's a pretty important aspect of trekking, the victory dance.
Victory dance. Although you feel quite tired. I'm not sure dancing is kind of the first thing. You're doing hugs, high fives, few tears. Maybe if you're taking a wee dram up there, which is certainly needed. But yeah, you on the way down. Trust me, there'll be some dancing if you're on Kili. More the locals as well. It's all part of the experience. So yeah, definitely get your dancing shoes on the way down.
Yeah. Darren has mentioned the Summit Mankini. I'm with you on that, Darren. I think I'll wait till he's gone till I take my photo of that.
Yeah, great stuff. Look, before we announce the winner, which I've gotten over here, it's a little bit different this time because we're in the Yeti cave. So if you're not familiar, we're EverTrek HQ. This is where we record our podcast. This is where we do some of the lives. We had a bit of a refurb during lockdown, and yeah, we got it kind of sort of created, if you like. This is the Yeti cave because we all are Yeti. I'm head Yeti. This is the painted Yeti Dave. We got Fee out there, which is the Bimblin Yeti. We got lots of Yetis. And yeah, so I'll be announcing the winner in a sec, but just want to mention to all the people, especially who are on there as regulars, any new people, we had a lovely new trip as well, which was in South America. It was a brand new trip, which is now live on the site. Lauren, if you're on the comments, do pop it in the comments there because it's a new trip. Really excited about running it. It's called the Ring of Fire Trek. We always try and come up with some snazzy little name, but essentially it's 4 volcanoes in Ecuador, and it's actually Cotopaxi and Chimborazo are 2 of those volcanoes. They are the Chimborazo is actually the first mountain that's actually the closest to space. A little bit of knowledge, so it's even closer to space than Mount Everest. So yeah, just a little bit of geeky little knowledge there.
It boils my brain. I can't get my head around it. But it's because of where it is on the equator, right? That it kind of bulges a bit closer. But yeah, I'm so excited for this trip. So
I know. I thought I'd drop that in there just because it's. I knew I was going to say it was on there. Just have a little look. Maybe we're doing something over the next few weeks around it. Obviously, I know this live is all about Kili, but I wanted to say it's on there just in case. I know a few people have asked that about that before. There is a guide on there as well. So if you want to download the guide, read a bit more information on there. You can do. Obviously, if you want to book in, go for it, and you can do. Obviously, not for now, but we've got dates all the way until the end of 2024. Right, Dave, we're going to announce the winner. We are. Yeah. We're going to announce.
Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going for another hour, mate. We could.
Don't tell that. They're all going to start swearing in a minute. No. It's been great. Look, and I can see there's a lot of energy on here. As Dave said, it's great that you've tuned in. I know we've all got sort of busy lives, and we hope that if you're not one of the winners, like I said, we've got you're part of our email list. You might be getting some sort of runner-up prizes, so do look out for that if you're not one of the lucky winners. But Dave, I will. It's a little bit different to normal. Normally we have a whiteboard which you lift up, which we have the name of the winner on there. But today the whiteboard is actually stuck on the wall. So all I'm going to do is I will the name's on there, and if this is you, we'll be dropping you a little email. Like I said, yourself and someone who you're going to be choosing, a friend, come with us, top of Kilimanjaro. It's going to be fantastic, and you can obviously, with the current situation, we'll work with you to choose a date. Over the next few years, whatever's easiest for you. And yeah, we'll. Good luck, guys.
Andy,
good luck.
Come on.
All right. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna pick the camera and I'm gonna turn it around. So it's a little bit different, but I hope this works. Anyway, right, give me a sec, Dave.
Good luck, everybody.
Okay. Good luck, guys. Right, I'm gonna try and get close. Right, are we ready?
So smooth. Keep going.
Are you sure? I mean, my arms aching. Can I put it down?
Yeah.
No, I'm only kidding. Okay, so the winner this time is Marika Tomczak. Can Marika please comment on the live?
Congratulations, Marika.
Marika on the live? I hope she's on the live anyway. But Marika,
I hope she's on the live. But otherwise, if not, Marika, awesome. You're on your way to Kilimanjaro.
Yeah, exactly. Well done. I hope Marika, we're zooming in. We're going to do a little bit, get a bit seasick. But yeah, Marika, congratulations, mate. We'll be dropping you. I'll send you a little message after this. Let me just pop the camera back. Okay. Clearly haven't done that bit before. But yeah, Marika, look, congratulations, mate. You're the winner of
she's on, Marika. You're on. Hey, Marika, well
done. It's nice. I think it's the first one out of like the several competitions we've had someone on the live. So I think, Martin McCollum is one of our previous winners. Fantastic. And Marika will drop you a little message. Congratulations. And thanks to everyone that entered. It was absolutely amazing. It's so much positivity on here. Honestly, it's just fantastic. I want to bottle up this positivity just in case there's any more bloody lockdowns, you know. But great stuff, Dave. Yeah, any sort of final words, Dave, before we leave?
Only Brian has said, how many lives do you have to watch before you're a regular? And it's when I can get your name right. Okay, Brian McLaughlin. So that's when it is. But no, honestly, I think it's been awesome. Marika, so happy for you. So happy that everyone's tuned in as well. You know, this is one of the greatest things that we do. I mean, whenever we decide it's competition time, it's always a massive buzz. So I am super stoked. Do you know what? I have a funny feeling we haven't managed to answer everyone's question on this one, and so we're going to make a special effort to get back to people.
Yes.
But any other questions, if you have a burning question, just send it in or come back next Tuesday. We're always here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sorry, Dave. Yeah, we're here every Tuesday. Do tune in. Always here for questions. As I've said, is anything you need, we will try and get through all the comments and get back to you because, you know, we want those questions to be answered. But, you know, we'll try and pick them up over the next few weeks as well. We'll be back next Tuesday with something a little bit different. But again, any questions, drop them in. And yeah, Dave, that's it. I think we come towards the end now. I mean, it's kind of weird because normally we get to about an hour and like down tools. But I can see there's loads of questions coming in. But look, yeah, I'll leave you guys to it. Have an awesome time the rest of your day. And yeah, I'll see you next Tuesday.
And everyone else who's entered, do check your emails as well.
100%. Yeah. Over the next hour or two. Yeah, if you some of our other prizes, you'll be getting them. So yeah, do check your emails. Happy days.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. It's been awesome. Yeah. See you soon.
See ya. Congratulations, Marika.
No, I never win.